Tea is ready.
Hallihallo und herzlich willkommen zur 6. Folge vom Afternoon Tea Podcast, dem Podcast vom Adivasi-Tee-Projekt. So, herzlich willkommen zurück zur 6. Folge mit dem Thema Glück.
Stopp! Erstmal eine kurze Info dazu, was und wer hinter diesem Podcast steht. Das Adivasi-Tee-Projekt ist ein bundesweiter gemeinnütziger Verein. Wir unterstützen die Entwicklungsarbeit der indigenen Bevölkerung Indiens, genannt Adivasi, in den südindischen Nilgiri-Bergen mit Spenden, fairem Handel und Austausch. Mit Begegnungsreisen, Veranstaltungen und Materialien leisten wir Bildungsarbeit in Deutschland für eine gerechte Welt und nachhaltige Entwicklung. In jeder Podcast-Folge widmen wir uns einem Thema, das etwas mit uns und dem Leben der Adivasi in Südindien zu tun hat. Jetzt geht es weiter.
Warum eigentlich Glück? Zum einen, weil das Thema Glück immer ein schönes Thema ist und zum anderen, weil in diesem Monat noch, und zwar am 20. März, der Tag oder der internationale Tag des Glückes ist. Und genau aus diesem Grund widmen wir uns diesem Thema. Es wird zu diesem Thema sogar 2 Folgen geben. Diese Folge weicht etwas von der üblichen Struktur ab. Und zwar wird es in dieser Folge ein Interview geben zwischen Petra vom ATP und Rahul. Rahul kennen vielleicht einige. Wer ihn nicht kennt, Rahul ist Lehrer an der Adivasi School in Gudalur. Und dieses Gespräch wird überhaupt möglich, genau durch diese institutionelle Verbindung zwischen ATP und der Adivasi School. Und für dieses Interview oder für dieses Gespräch hat Petra dem Rahul einfach mal ein paar Fragen gestellt. Und der hat darauf geantwortet. Oder das ganze Gespräch wird auf Englisch sein. Also nur als kleine Vorwarnung, als Info. Und für das richtige Feeling stellt euch doch einfach mal vor, ihr sitzt abends am Lagerfeuer und philosophiert oder hört 2 Leute dabei, wie sie über das Thema Glück sprechen. Viel Spaß beim Hören. Und die Musik, die ihr hören werdet, stammt von Sebastian Dreyer an der Sitar und Ashis Paul an der Tabla. Und mit Liedern von ihrer CD Raga Padib. Und an dieser Stelle ganz vielen Dank, dass wir diese Musik verwenden dürfen. Und jetzt beginnt das Gespräch.
1, 2, 3. And the first question is, our German ATP group wants to create more justice and promote sustainability, and you work actually as a teacher, and I think by profession you are even an engineer. So why is it that we discuss happiness?
I think happiness is such an important subject to think about because it's the only motivation that people have all over the world is to be happy. If you look at the child, wants to be happy to have his toys. If you want to look at the teenagers, he wants to be happy with his bikes and cars. And if you see middle-aged people, they want to be happy with traveling around or getting married, having a child. And old people wants to be happy with their grandchildren. So you can look at the unifying factors in all ages, that people want to be happy, and it is the only purpose that people want to be happy. So I think it's an important topic to discuss because we are all seeking that. Yeah.
So let's imagine also for our audience, we are not the experts on that subject. We are human beings, maybe seeking for happiness just like anyone else. And so let's sit next to the virtual bonfire and share something, a tea or cup of coffee or whatever, and let's start sharing our ideas. So the first question is also, you mentioned, like even a child, they have so many wishes how to be happy, or also experiences to be happy. And if even a small child can be happy, does this mean that being happy is actually really easy?
Very interesting question. So if you look at a child, right, I mean, there is no worries of the past and anxiety for future, right? So child doesn't, if you don't feed a child his favorite food, and tomorrow he says, "Mom, you didn't feed me my favorite food." The child is not, not worrying about the past, or the child doesn't think that my family will be alive or not. So it doesn't go to the future also. So it is worries of the past and anxiety for future actually stresses or make people unhappy. So as a child grows into an adolescent, the adolescents kind of have their likes and dislikes, right? So immediately those likes and dislikes make you unhappy. Something that you like. Oh, I like this cloth. I like this car. And if you don't get the car or the cloth, you are unhappy. So yeah, I mean, it's the bottom line is the child doesn't have worries of the past and anxiety of future, so they are very happy.
So maybe in that answer is also already hidden one way of achieving happiness, maybe, like if worries are related to past and future, then I understand you that way, that maybe one strategy can be trying to be in the moment to achieve happiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hear another thing in what you say, like there seems to be maybe a superficial level of happiness, of things of the outside world which we expect and we don't like, or which we wish and don't get, and maybe a deeper level of a happy feeling. And actually many languages also distinguish between luck and happiness. In German it's Glück haben and glücklich sein, where luck means more an external event that is to one's advantage, like a good job or good clothes, what you mentioned. I like that clothes, I like that, what I got today, I like that lottery win, I like that job, what I got today. I have rich parents and therefore some advantages for my life. Whereas happiness maybe describes more an inner feel of the person. So I wonder, how are these two related? And my question to you is, do we need luck to be happy? Do we need material things? Do we need the outside world to support us to be happy? Or are these independent from each other or related to each other? What do you think?
So I think there's a basic law says that what you sow, you reap. So the whole world actually runs through it's a governing law. It's called the cause and effect, right? For any cause there has to be effect. For this effect there has to be a cause. So so if you think about this law, there's nothing called luck actually. Let's say if you are studying hard in a particular field, you will be successful in that field. And so if you put your effort and put all your energy, you are going to have an effect out of it. If you're going to do your exercises regularly, you are going to be fit. So, but sometimes you may not get your immediate effect. But so if you don't get the immediate result, you may call it as luck. You may not know the cause of it. So, so I feel there is always a cause and effect, which you may not know the cause itself. And so yeah, that's I think. But to be happy, I think you need to have self-effort and faith. So you have to put your effort so that you are a happy person.
And that leads me to a question that even social scientists say that one important key to individual happiness lies in self-determination. Like you mentioned that you have to put in your effort, but it also means like I have to be in a situation where can I define my circumstances, or where I have the freedom to act the way I decide to act. So the social sciences talk to being in control of your own life is a key to individual happiness. So the first question is that also what you would feel? And the second is like, doesn't this also mean that I myself have to take the right decisions and actions to achieve happiness? And that's my own fault when I get unhappy. That I am the one to be blamed. I didn't take enough effort to be happy. And doesn't this expectation actually overstrain us and make happiness actually impossible?
So it's a very interesting question. So if you see the world itself, right? If you see plant or animal, the plant or animal do not have choice of action. Right? Let's say elephant will never think, do I have a choice to eat meat or become a non-vegetarian? Or a mango tree doesn't decide to be a lemon tree, right? There's no choice of action. But if you see...
It would be a funny word if they suddenly had the freedom to do so.
They'll become humans then. So, but if you see humans, right? I mean... you have this beautiful equipment called intellect, right? To reason out, to think. That's why there's choices of action, is there. You use this equipment to choose your life. And stronger the intellect, like stronger your reasoning power, your thinking power, you will always try to change yourself. You will never think it's a burden. But if you, on the other hand, if you have a weaker intellect, you will always blame the world, right? So it's very interesting, If you think that you are in control and you have the ability to change your life, you will put that effort. And you will never be disheartened, or you will never think you're failed, because you keep trying and you keep going through the process of it.
So it's also about wanting to be happy, and the inner approach I address. Like
Yes,
that?
yes. Yeah, absolutely. You have to be very conscious of your choices to be happy. Absolutely. So that can actually, the only way is to have a strong intellect. That has to be, I think, highlighted. Yeah.
Then I want to highlight another question, which is maybe a very popular way of achieving or trying to achieve happiness, and also a well-known way to gain more self-determination. That's not only the intellect, but money.
Yeah.
So what part plays money in this chance of being happy and the seeking of happiness? And is the pursuit of money part of the solution to get happy, because it gives me more options and supports my decisions and it eases my life? Or is it part of the problem to be always satisfied, because I may come to the point that there's no limit to it? Or it's again my intellect which maybe decides how much money I need for what decision. So the money is a very tricky thing. What do you think about that?
So money actually, if you have a right value towards money, if you think very in an objective manner, it only protects your body, right? It gives you shelter, proper nutrition. So money can actually can give you that, to have a conducive environment to your body. But money cannot buy you love, right? It cannot buy you relationships. Money cannot make you a wiser person or knowledgeable person. It can buy you library, but you don't, by buying library, you don't become wiser, right? So money, if you keep money at the having a right value is very important. If you don't have a right value, that's when all the problems and dissatisfaction happens.
So you need the money to fulfill your basic needs, and the intellect to decide what more you need and how you achieve the things of importance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the promise of the modern consumer society is that more consumption makes us happier, and often it seems so, at least in the short term. But here we come to the point that not only the personal resources of money are not unlimited. I may not be able to buy everything what I promised would make me happy, but also the world's resources are finite. And here it comes also that we are a project to think about more sustainability. So how is it possible for an individual to come out of the temptation to achieve happiness through consumption?
Wow, very interesting question again. So the only way to come out of any temptation is through knowledge. Let's say if you look at a child, when a child is at 12 years or 13 years, he's fascinated by the things that he's got, like bikes or whatever, like the video games and or cars, no. But after 5 years, you see the same person, no. he's already dropped those his temptations in life. How did that happen, right? It happened through knowledge, higher knowledge. Oh, these things don't make me happy. There are other things to makes me happy. So moment you are drawn to higher knowledge, the lower things falls off. So if a person has the wisdom, has the knowledge or is attaching to higher things in life, the lower falls off. So yeah, that's how you get away from temptations in life. So if you see even like an alcoholic, or if you have any addictions, the only way is to have a goal in your life, a higher goal. The moment you attach to higher goals, the lower things falls off. So that's the only way.
So what would be examples for higher goals not related to money? Like you already mentioned, the relationships. Like that. And that immaterial things.
The higher goals may be like connecting with the community to serve. Service is a great way to have a higher ideal. To share things, whatever you have, knowledge, your material wealth, your emotional capacity. That's the way. I mean, that's a higher goal. Higher goal means connected to as many people you want in your life. Yeah.
So not only connected to me, I need money to get me this and this thing, so that I get a happy feel because of this this whatever car or whatever. No? This, but by connecting to others, this money loses.
Absolutely.
Its attraction. Absolutely. It becomes a mean to achieve.
Absolutely.
To buy maybe certain things, materials, to be able to work for the community, but maybe to find other ways
absolutely.
to achieve that. So, So my next question is is this seeking of happiness, this pursuit of happiness, something which we do all our lives, or do we actually achieve a state of happiness? Is it possible to achieve a state of happiness at all, or is actually the pursuit of happiness the thing which guides us through our life? And interestingly, the US Declaration of Independence mentions the pursuit of happiness as one of the certain unalienable rights of people, not the happiness itself, but the pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
So, do we strive for happiness throughout our lives without achieving it? And if so, that itself is the way of happiness?
So if you take a graph from 0 to 100%, 0 to 100, right? And people are in different levels. Some people can be 20, some people can be 40% happy, some people can be 60% happy or 80% happy, right? You can always see different kinds of people at a different level of peace and happiness. So there is an attempt to achieve that state of happiness in human life, but the only way is to have a self-effort towards it. Because if you see in a happy person, right, and the worldly needs, the happiest person is not dependent on the world. And the more you are happy, lesser you are dependent on the world. Lesser you are happy, you are more dependent on the world. So
you need the outside
to make you happy. Yeah, absolutely. So to reach that 100% state, you have to have very minimal dependence on the world. So yeah.
And the old Indian language, Sanskrit, knows more than 10 different words to describe happiness or happy feelings. Does that can teach us something about happiness? I don't know if you know Sanskrit. I don't know. So but the interesting thing is that in French and English and German and all, we have two words that I mentioned. Luck and happiness. Sanskrit knows more than 10 different words. I don't know how it is in Tamil. So to understand happiness, what this one can teach us?
I think if a language has so many words, it tells you the importance of the word itself, right? So if you have 10 or more words on happiness, means there is so much importance to that word. And it signifies about life itself. When they're trying to give different meanings to same word. And also for people, I think it makes, it brings the readers and brings the writers, make it more attractive to have different words in different context, to read and also to write. So I think that's why I think they have so many words on happiness in Sanskrit.
And it maybe reflects in the fact that over decades, so many people from Western country traveled, especially to India,
absolutely.
to try to learn more about happiness and life and what is important of life and inner happiness. So
absolutely. I think India is, I mean, the unique thing about India is people have come and done a lot of research on happiness and everything. So there's a lot of documentation is available. Yeah.
Of course, there are also, for hundreds of years, many Western philosophers and theologians and scientists who thought about happiness as it is such an important thing for universally all people, as you mentioned at the beginning. And the German theologian and medical doctor Albert Schweitzer, born in 1875, he said, many people know that they are unhappy, but even more people don't know that they are happy. And the Russian writer Dostoevsky, born in 1821, he said the human is unhappy because he does not know that he is happy. Who realizes that will be immediately happy.
Great word,
But how do I realize that I'm actually already happy?
So the philosophy tells you that your real self is actually absolute peace and bliss. That is your original being. It is actually your desires takes you away from your happiness. If you think of a simple experiment, you place a coil of spring 4 feet high on a table, right? And you press it down with your palm. to 1 feet. Okay, so there is 4 feet spring, and you press it down to 1 foot. What you feel a pressure, right? The pressure is built, and it pushes the palm upward, right? And it releases to 2 feet. Then the pressure reduces, right? Then you release it to 3 feet, and the pressure it reduces further, and you release it to 4 feet. Now there is no pressure at all, and the coil has reached its original state. So likewise, the desires pressurizes a human being to gain happiness and peace, and pressure will only end when the person realizes that he is a happy being, because that is original nature. So it's actually the desire that takes you away from who you are, and you can only, as I already told, we can only be happy if you want to take that choice in life.
So this whole subject happiness is not very complex, and we talked about it needs an intellect, it needs experiences, it needs an inner compass to know where to go. It needs a self-reflection to realize my actual self and the real, maybe more important aims in life. So what about the following idea? The German professor, Mr. Ernst Fritz Schubert, developed the subject happiness at a school in Heidelberg in Germany in 2007. And today almost 200 schools in Germany and Austria teach the subject happiness. So what do you think about the subject happiness at school? That's a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely great idea. I think but you can't take it just like a subject. I think life is an art. Art means, I would say that it's like playing an instrument or playing a sport, right? You have to practice it day in and day out. And that's how you become better in life, or you can be happy. So it's very important to keep in touch with those values in life, like maybe the subject, actually the happiness subject might address it. So it's not just to pass the exam, or let's say you do one semester of happiness and you automatically become happy person in your life, right? You can't be like that. So you have to practice it. You have to live it. But it's a good start, obviously.
So theory and practice to bring together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this leads me to another question. And you work as a teacher for Adivasi children in South India. And I mean, for many things, it's the question how to bring theory and life, no, for the students together. And talking about happiness and from your experience as being a teacher, what would you like to teach children at school in order to help them to cope with life and to be happy? You can give a general answer or specify to your experience teaching Adivasi children.
So I think there are three important general concepts we try to do it. One is to try to ask questions, as many questions about life and what you see and everything, so that it leads them to see where the happiness lies. So first thing is to try asking as many questions, try to be more curious. And second is the culture of giving. We try to have an environment of, to give things or to listen to people or to share knowledge, right? So that's the second part of it. And the third aspect is being close to nature, trying to see the divinity, the beauty of nature itself. So those three things can bring close to your original nature, or it will make you happy and peaceful person, doing three basic things.
Thank you. We already come, looking at the time, close to the end of our interview, and definitely we couldn't answer the question, but some idea I got that even so, we talked about how intellect is important to achieve happiness, and this is something lying in me and focusing on me and understanding me. Same way as I don't know, my desires and money go circling around me and fulfilling my needs, but there is the difference that finally that using my intellect to understand what is happiness and what I am as a human being goes out of me when I understood you right, and goes out to nature and goes out to other people. And maybe the more I connect with this, and the more I can esse strains toward that, I can be able to achieve happiness without the material need of, or without the need of lot of money or status or these kind of things. Is it a little bit that direction to go on for people to think about it?
I mean, you have summarized it very well, I think, about the talk. It's about asking questions, right questions, and don't blaming the world, right? See, when you are unhappy, you always blame the world. But if you can investigate and look within, is there something wrong with me, and rectify it, you'll become a happy person.
we have another 3 questions of a different kind for you as our interview partner. We give you 2 options and you have to choose one. Okay? Okay, first one, either coffee or tea.
Both.
Not possible.
Tea, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Second question, either small village or big city.
Small village.
Third question, either security or adventure.
Tricky one. Yeah, tricky thing. Like what kind of security? Okay, fine. I mean, I don't want to. Okay, let me be adventurous. Yeah, take that. Yeah.
Fine. And the last one, either idli or dosa.
Dosa.
Thank you very much, Rahul.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot.
Ja, vielen Dank Petra und vielen Dank Rahul. Tut mir leid, dass ich euch jetzt aus der Lagerfeuerstimmung rausholen muss, aber die Folge neigt sich nun zum Ende und ich wollte nur noch mal darauf hinweisen, dass ihr auch sehr gespannt sein könnt auf die 2. Folge zum Glück und noch mal daran erinnern, dass um Pfingsten das Klimacamp stattfindet und vom 11. bis zum 13. März das ATP-Treffen in Laufen. Also wer dann noch spontan Lust hat mitzukommen, ist gerne eingeladen. Und wer sich zum Klimacamp anmelden möchte, natürlich auch. Damit sind wir beim Ende. Dann würde ich mich jetzt verabschieden und wir hören uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Immerhin schon die 7. Folge. Also, bis dahin, bleibt gesund. Euer Robert.
Das war der Afternoon Tea Podcast, der Podcast des Adivasi-Tee-Projekts. Du findest uns im Internet unter adivasi-tee-projekt.org und bei Instagram als Adivasi-Tee-Projekt. Du möchtest unsere Arbeit unterstützen, mitgestalten oder die Aktiven des Projekts kennenlernen? Wir freuen uns auf dich.